Mayah Rose here,
Gerald Rogers.
and today we're going to talk about legendary lovemaking. How to use lovemaking to access the superconscious. So, first of all, let's talk about what is the superconscious and why would you want to access it in the first place?
Yeah, this is really important to understand, number one, what the superconscious is and how lovemaking can relate to that and what benefits it brings into our life. So we have three different parts of our brain. We have the conscious mind, which is the thinking part of our brain, the part of our brain that creates awareness of what's going on in this moment. We have the unconscious mind, which is what holds our memories and our beliefs and runs our body systems. But then the superconscious is this field, often called the quantum field, the unified field, the field of oneness. It's the space in which we access inspiration and intuition, and where we also experience mystical healing gifts as well. And what's amazing is there's lots of different ways through meditation and through different techniques to achieve access to the superconscious. And one of those happens to be through sexuality and intimacy.
And this is my favorite way to access the superconscious. So, since we've been together and been practicing this, I've had experience after experience after experience of accessing the superconscious, of creating miracles in my life, of seeing visions, even of the future that end up coming to pass. So, this is something that, especially if you are in the feminine in the relationship, if you are the woman or you are representing the feminine, like if you fully allow yourself to surrender during lovemaking, you can access the superconscious in such a heightened peak level like you've never experienced before. And what a powerful thing, right, for the man to be able to help the woman do this.
Well, it's powerful within a couple and within a relationship, and this is what's called sacred sexuality. To like really move beyond just the energy of like sex and fucking, and moving into like the merging of souls and the connecting in this really beautiful, intimate way. And it requires you to access a different level of intimacy than most people typically do, and to understand that intimacy is willingness or ability to be fully seen, to allow yourself to be vulnerable and open, to create that trust and connection, and allow yourself to surrender to the energy that's there.
So, why would you want to access the superconscious? Well, this is going to give you so many downloads, so many revelations. It's going to allow you to feel more fulfilled in accessing your purpose and definitely connect you closer together in a relationship. So, how do you do this? Like Gerald was touching on just a moment ago, this is done through true intimacy, right? So, this is done through really getting to know the other person and creating a relationship in which you feel safe so that you can fully surrender. So whoever's acting as the female partner, the feminine in the sexual interaction, in order for you to be able to access the superconscious, you need to be able to fully surrender into the situation. So how do you get to the point where you can fully surrender? I know, ladies, this can be so hard because we've been conditioned to control and we're worried. How many times have you thought in your mind, what are they thinking about me? Do I look okay? Am I making the right noises? What's going to happen next? Oh gosh, I need to climax, right? And we get stuck with these thoughts in our head and we end up feeling like we have to control the situation. That will do the opposite of allowing you to access the superconscious. So, how do you surrender? There are some keys in being able to surrender in this love-making experience that will allow you to be able to access the superconscious. So, first one is to be able to create trust within your partnership, to create a partnership in which you allow the person that's representing the masculine or the man to hold space for you. So Gerald's so good at this. Gerald, what would be your advice for men on holding space during this sexual experience?
Yeah, the thing I want to emphasize to men especially is the lovemaking begins way before you're in the bedroom. The lovemaking is happening all the time, and that trust is constantly being built. And the more you're nurturing and caring for that relationship through either kind texts or loving notes or helping in the kitchen or just helping the woman share what's going on inside their mind. There's this idea of like holding this space or holding a bucket for them to like dump all of the busy thoughts of their mind. And if you can create that space, where they can let go of all the busy thoughts, then they're able to drop more fully into the presence of their body. And so just remember that the love making process begins way before you're actually naked and in bed.
And part of the divine feminine is really allowing the divine masculine to show up for you, allowing them to help you, allowing and receiving the words of gratitude and the texts that they are sending to you. And I know that this can be challenging if you've had a busy day or you're feeling stressed out. So another key to be able to really allow this and to be able to surrender is to know what helps you relax. So before going into a lovemaking experience, do you need to take a bath? Do you need to read a book? Do you need to go for a walk? Do you need to go outside and scream or scream in your pillow? What is going to help you be able to relax and feel like you're in the space of being able to receive? So my suggestion would be to find a specific practice or two that you can do before you know you're going to experience a lovemaking. Now, another really important key that will help you be able to surrender in any experience is to have the right environment. So really listen up here. Having a clean environment is really important. Having the right music playing, the right lighting, the right temperature. This is very, very important to be able to allow you to surrender. If you're in the middle of making love and all of a sudden you feel freezing cold, your mind is going to be focused on how cold you are and not being able to surrender so that you can access your superconscious. If you have some kind of music playing that's really bothering you or some kind of sound that's disrupting your ability to be able to surrender, that's going to make a big difference. So really take time. I can't reiterate this enough. Take time to prepare the space. This is a sacred space for lovemaking. This is a space that, if prepared in the right way, will allow you to fully surrender so you can access that universal love and oneness and consciousness that is out there.
One of the things that's important about this is actually prioritizing it. You know, I see a lot of couples where lovemaking or sex becomes like the leftover practice, you know, like at the end of the day, but often then they're tired or, you know, one of them's not in the mood. But it's like this important element of prioritizing it and making it important, putting it a prime time rather than a leftover time, and being intentional about, you know, that space. There's plenty of times where, you know, it's just going to be that moment of passion and desire where you just, you know, do it spontaneously. But other times, like, to be like intentional about turning it into a sacred sexual practice.
And once you really have set up the environment, once you have created this trust in your relationship with your partner, now it's time for connection. So when you get together, when you're in your bedroom or wherever it is, the space that you've created for this love making, it begins by looking at each other. It begins by creating the space and energy. I'm blushing just when Gerald looks at me like that. Like, we're barely even touching right now, but when he looks at me with a certain way and we create this energy between us, I can feel this fire start to build within me. You can feel this safety and this trust. So when you go into your lovemaking experience, when you're wanting to access the superconscious, begin by creating energy between you first, before you even touch. Just by the look, just see if you can fill that space between you with the energy of passion and of longing, of desire, of creation. And what you'll notice is this fire, this energy start to build in your sacral sexual center down here in your gut and in your abdomen. And you feel this passion, this desire, this flame, this burning, this yearning for your partner. You know what I'm talking about. And once you've built that sufficiently in both partnerships, now it's time for touch. But it's not that grabbing, let's have a passionate embrace touch. You want to build the energy some more. So it's the light touch. It's the touching with your fingers. It's the stroking of the face. It's the light brushing of the lips together. So it's creating the space for this and really feeling the energy before you go into that deep, passionate embrace. Create the energy, create the feeling. I love when Gerald touches my face just a little bit. Will you show him how to do that? And just strokes my face a little bit. So intimate to have somebody touch your face and your neck and your hair and to witness you. And then the looking is another really important thing. Allowing yourself to be witnessed and witnessing. Not only looking at each other in the eyes, but looking at your bodies, looking at your hands, and allowing the touch of the hands, allowing the intimacy through these different areas of the body. I actually love hand play and just touching, seeing what kind of energy you can create, how you can caress this person's hand, how you can look at it and appreciate it. So this is the energy that you want going into this lovemaking experience where you're accessing the superconscious.
I like to call this tuning into your partner, like really feeling their energy and feeling that dance. Recognize that the lovemaking process is all of this. It's the words, it's the movement. It's like feeling the play of energy as you sync up with each other, and you feel this sacred energetic union before the physical union takes place. And and then from there, then you can move into like the more intentional caressing and holding and the merging of your bodies, and then following like the pleasure. Like our bodies are designed for extraordinary pleasure, and there are literally these erogenous zones all over our bodies, all over. And sometimes it's fun to just go on a hunt and find the places that bring the most pleasure and the most energy.
I'm getting really excited just listening to Gerald talk about this. Also, use your voices. Ask for what you want. Make sounds so that your partner knows when you like something or you don't like something. And don't be afraid to ask for what you want or to express gratitude or pleasure when your partner hits a spot that's really pleasurable for you. And when it does come time for you to finally merge and for that climax to occur, how do you know if you're accessing the superconscious through this climax? Well, first of all, you're going to feel the energy build, and this is building throughout the whole time, throughout the whole day as you connect with each other, throughout the preparation of the space and of yourself, throughout the touches and the looks and the deep connection, and you'll feel that energy build and rise and rise and rise. And then when you climax, when you hit that spot of climax, you'll feel this, it's almost like an explosion. And you feel like you're nothing and nowhere and no one. All of a sudden, no time exists. And for me, it feels like I'm just floating out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of space. And it's just this extremely euphoric feeling. And it's in this moment that often I get these downloads or these feelings or these inspirations or these ideas. And those continue. Listen very carefully, because this is a really important part of accessing the superconscious. This continues after the climax when you're connecting as a couple. When you're holding each other and laying in each other's energy, when your body feels totally relaxed and you can just sink into the moment. It's like there's no worries, no cares, complete connection and merging of energy.
Yeah, it's in that afterglow often that sometimes our deepest inspirations or insights or healing occurs. It's that space of just like surrendering into that frequency of pure unconditional love.
So don't rush the afterglow. Make sure that you leave adequate time and space for just holding each other and being in each other's energy. Now, this doesn't mean that every single experience you have has to be like this. Sometimes you just want to have a quick experience, or you want something that's fun and exciting and fast, and that's fine too. This does not need to apply to every situation, but this is such a beautiful practice as couple to be able to allow each other to access that superconscious. And when you do it together, you'll feel such a merging of energy that will allow you to have such a solid and strong relationship, and to be able to create that trust and that love that you've been desiring.
Yeah, so once again, be intentional. Take your time. Make it a priority. Go slow. Merge your energy. And then as that energy builds and grows, just ride that frequency of love, that frequency of joy and pleasure as far as you can. Just notice how far that love can take you in accessing your superconscious and igniting this sense of oneness.
We'll be sharing more practices on how to connect as couples, how to access your superconscious, meditations, and more things here. So make sure and subscribe to this channel. And we also hold special retreats throughout the year where we teach couples and individuals how to create this passion, how to have this better relationship with themselves so that they can access that superconscious. So look for those as well.
Yep. So subscribe, and we'll see you soon. And until then, just remember, this is your life. Make it legendary.